Okay, after overnight, take it out of your fridge and let it sit on the counter for 2 hours until it gets to room temp. Okay, so now it was in the fridge overnight, 12 to 15 hours. We took it out, left it on the counter for 2 hours or until it's room temp. If you poke it and it's still really cold, give it some more time, but it should be fine. So now, on an unfloured countertop, make sure it's clean. You're gonna coax it out of the bowl, which might take a little bit of effort. Okay, so now this is actually enough dough to make 2 breads. So we're gonna cut it in half, and okay, so see there's like some little liquidies here? That's okay, that's just from the yeast partying. Okay, so we're gonna cut it in half. Then, beep, beep, beep. We're going to flour the top of it, just a little bit. Don't go too crazy, just needs a little. Okay, then what you're gonna do is use the whatever stickiness of it sticking to the counter to make a little ball. So you're gonna just pull it into itself a little bit, using the fact that it sticks to the counter as your. So you see how it kind of is forming a little ball and getting some tension? That's what you want. So that's probably good for that one. We'll do this one now. So make sure that they have a little space between them in case they do pancake it. I like to add a little bit more flour. And then you are going to put the tea towel that you had, just on top of them. And now you're just gonna leave it like that for 20 to 30 minutes to let it kind of do a little relaxing. So we'll come back in about half an hour. Okay, so it's been 25-30 minutes. These guys are pretty good. They didn't pancake look too much. It's good. So you're gonna need a bowl to put them in to do their final bulk rise. So if you are lucky enough to have one of these bad boys, this is what they put bread in lots. You can either do it right in the container without this thing on there, like that. I like to leave the little cloth thing that came in it, and you're gonna cover it in flour because you don't want your bread to stick. That will ruin your day, and you have spent so long preparing this stupid bread that you will be cranky. So just flour the crap out of it. Now, if you don't have that, which most people don't, then the next best thing, mixing bowl and a tea towel. Now, in recipes, they will just indiscriminately say tea towel. If you have one like this, that is like this fuzzy, they're really excellent for drying hands, but really fuzzy, don't use that. Use one like this that's like very smooth. Usually they're not the greatest at drying your hands, but for this, you want nothing for the bread to stick to. So take your bread or your flour and just kind of coat the heck out of that. Sometimes I will lift it out and kind of rub it around, but I don't know, it's just as easy to do it in the bowl. So you just want to make sure, if you want to look in here, that you get all of the foldy bits, get it up on the sides, because remember it's going to be small, but then it's going to rise up. So just keep rubbing it in there. Good enough, methinks. Okay, so you've got those two prepped. So now I'm gonna uncover these guys. We'll start with this guy. So you're gonna pull it and fold it onto itself 4 times and then gather it together and then drop it in your bowl. So I'm gonna pull this one onto itself like that. And then pull it out to the side like that. You're kind of folding to like just past the middle, and you want to give it a good stretch because you are going for service tension. And then your last fold is going to be bottom and flip it up over itself. Sometimes in cooking shows they're like, "Bleh," they slam it, but I don't know. Okay, so then you're going to do your little tensioning thing again. It's nice and tight. Okay. Sprinkle some flour onto that bad boy, because at this point it's hard to overdo the flour. You gotta do it. Okay, then if you have a bench scraper like I do, use it. If not, just use your hands and gather it up and put it seam side up in your bowl like that. And you can kind of gather it. If there's a little seam there, gather it up. Sprinkle a little bit of flour on there. Okay, beauty. Now we're gonna do the same thing to this one. So stretch, stretch, stretch. And then your last stretch. Let's see if we can do the show thing without it. You're impressed, right? I know, you're impressed. And again, you're trying to get that surface tension because it's gonna hold it together and let it rise up instead of bleh. Look at that little bubble there, do you see that? That's great, that's fantastic news. Okay, so again, flour the heck out of it. You can clean this up later, whatever. Okay, take your scraper. Actually, I can do it with my hand. Drop it in there. This one's pretty good, there's not much of a seam, but if there was, you kind of gather it again to hold that tension. A little bit more flour. There you go. Okay, and now, just like we did with it yesterday to leave it overnight, stick them inside a plastic bag, clip the plastic bag closed, and put it in the fridge for like 3 to 4 hours, and we will come back. Okay, when there's about an hour left on your bread in the fridge, you want to get your Dutch oven in your oven. Put it in the oven, start the oven at 450 and leave it for between half an hour and an hour. You need this to get super hot. If you don't have a Dutch oven, then you can use a roaster, or you can just straight up put a pizza stone in the oven and you'll be good to go. Okay. Okay, so it has been 3 hours. So I'm gonna do this 2 ways. One way I'm gonna do it with all the fancy stuff that we have, and this way is just gonna be, you're doing it at home. So we'll unwrap this bad boy. We have it in our bag. Woo. Oh yeah. Okay. So you have preheated your Dutch oven in the oven. And take that out of there. Don't put it directly on your stove top if it's like mine, because it can crack it. Give it a something. So take the lid off. If you don't have, you can put it out onto parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can take cornmeal, sprinkle it into the bottom of your pot. It's gonna steam a bit. Then you are gonna gently flip this guy into there. Oh, it smells like popcorn a little bit. So I'm gonna flip it onto my hand because it's gonna be easier, and then into the bowl. So flip, flip. Put it seam side down in there. Put your lid on. Don't touch the pot with your bare hands because you will burn yourself. Put it back in there and give it, let me check. Yeah, half an hour in there with the lid on. And after half an hour, we'll take the lid off and give it another 15 minutes. But we'll go half an hour and we'll do the next one right away. Okay, I screwed up. First of all, the oven's at 450. Second of all, I didn't cut the top. If you don't cut the top, it'll explode all over the place. So take a sharp knife and just make some little gashes in that baby. And this time, put your lid on, put it in the oven, and you'll be good. Okay? Okay, now we're using the professional step one. So we got our bag. We got our bread. Okay, so what I do, because I have one of these fancy bread slicers, is I put it on parchment paper, slice it, and then put it straight into the Dutch oven. So I will get the Dutch oven out anyways. Okay. Lid over here. Voila. Okay. So take this, flip it over. Beautiful. Okay. Take this thing, give it some little fancy, however you want to do it. And then put the whole thing, just the way it is, right into there. Whoop. Try not to touch the edges because you will burn your hands for sure. But you don't want your parchment paper folded because the bread will just take on that shape. So give it a little pat down. Okay, then always remember to put your oven mitts on because you're going to want to grab it without your oven mitts, and you will only do that once. Put it on there. Now put that in the oven for a half hour as well, and we'll pull them both out after that. Remember, your oven's still at 450. Okay. Okay, timer's done. So we're just going to take the lids off them and then give them another 15 minutes. But let's see how they work. Oh yeah, can you see that? Beauty. Okay, that's one. If you don't have 2 Dutch ovens, you can do one, and then when it's done, take the bread out and then do the second one after, but I have a double oven, so. Oh, look at that one. That one's a beauty. Looks like the other one didn't rise as much. I don't know why. We'll see what it looks like at the end. And they're out. Okay, this one is arguably nicer than this one, but they both turned out not bad. So we'll give them an hour now to cool, and then we'll cut them and see what they look like inside. Oh, that's. Oh, look at that, people. Okay, we got some pretty big. That's some pretty big bubbles, but that's a pretty nice spread. It smells so good. Haha. Show you the other one later on. Oh, girl. Okay, these turned out pretty good actually. I'm pretty proud of this.